It's not an absolutely original folk tale. I saw it in a Japanese folktale book. It could have come from Europe, actually, but it was about a frog who thought it was bigger than everybody else, and ultimately he filled himself up with so much air that he exploded. And that's not a very nice conclusion for a picture book. So I thought of a way of not making him explode, giving him some adventures that would deflate his ego and make him the right size. This is a picture of three friends. This is Fu Frog, Sulin Salamander, and Mau Mau Mud Puppy, and they are amphibians. When they start out in life, they're all roughly the same size. This is a title page, and the story is dedicated to Jaden and Weston Au, who are the grandkids of George and Gail Au. And it's dedicated also with special thanks to Mary Lee Donovan, Heather McGee, Laura Fesco, and Deborah Warren. This is the beginning of the story, and I will read to you. From the beginning, Fu Frog, Sulin Salamander, and Mau Mau Mud Puppy were best friends. They began life on the very same day, in the very same spot, on the banks of Washtub Pond. They also began life the very same size. But very quickly, Fu grew bigger than his friends. Now, when they played tug of war with a blade of grass, Fu easily outpulled Sulin. Though he didn't mean to, when Fu wrestled with Mau Mau, he often threw him off the lily pad. At first, Fu's friends didn't mind that Fu was bigger and stronger than they were. They didn't even mind when he threw them farther and deeper into the pond. But then they noticed that it wasn't just Fu's strength and size that were growing. His head was growing bigger too. He became boastful. "I must be the biggest animal in the whole wide world," he declared one morning. All that afternoon and into the night, Fu circled Washtub Pond, pounded on a drum, and chanted, "I am the biggest animal in the whole wide world. I am the biggest animal in the whole wide world." By morning, Fu was so tired from bragging, he fell deeply asleep in the bulrushes. "Finally, it's quiet again," said Sulin. "Now I can get some sleep." "Yes, and now I can play my flute in peace," chirped Mau Mau. Just as the two friends were relaxing, an ear-bursting "Prah!" shattered the silence. Sulin and Mau Mau dived, patong, patong, into the water. Carefully they peered out from beneath their lily pad. "Whoa! What a big animal!" cried Mau Mau. "I've never seen anything bigger!" cried Sulin. "No way could Fu out-tug that animal!" "No way could Fu throw that animal in wrestling," Mau Mau chimed in. The two friends watched the enormous creature slurp up water with its long nose. Finally, it stomped away, quong, 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 its footsteps rattling the lotus pond. The noise woke up Fu. He hopped out of the bulrushes. "Fu! Fu!" cried Sulin. "The biggest animal in the whole wide world came to visit while you were napping." "Yes, its back was as large as a mountain," cried Mau Mau. "Was the animal as big as this?" Fu asked, and he sucked in some air to puff himself up. "Bigger," said Sulin. "Its legs were as thick as logs." "Its snout was longer than the longest lotus root," said Mau Mau. Fu sucked in more air. "It was bigger!" cried Mau Mau. Bigger? Fu stammered. He sucked in still more air. There was now so much hot air in Fu's stretchy belly that a puff of wind lifted him off the ground as though he were a balloon. Another gust came along, lifted him up over the bamboo, and blew him higher and higher into the sky. "Phew! Let out some air!" cried Sulin and Mau Mau. but Fu could not hear them. He was too high up. All that his friends could see of him was a tiny green speck. "Gee," said Sulin, "Fu is really quite small after all." The wind carried Fu over fields and farms, rivers and rice paddies, pigs, donkeys, water buffaloes, goats, and horses dotted the meadow below him. Fu snorted. "The animals of the world are no bigger than tadpoles and gnats. I am indeed the biggest creature in the whole wide world." Just then, a great white heron flew by and snatched up Fu in its beak. "Hoo-ah!" screamed Fu. A little hot air whistled out of him. "Quack!" croaked the heron, and he spat Fu out. "You're a nasty flavored frog." Fu fell down from the sky, and landed with a pa-dum in the ocean. And that's just the beginning of the adventure. Fu must go through several more before he will ultimately find a more peaceful place to rest.